At the park, Amy remarks to Nate that it's a glorious day. Nate's glad her treatment hasn't worn her down. She says it's lifted her up and thanks him. She has so much to live for now and will do her best to stick around. Nate sighs heavily. Amy makes sure her ringer is on for when Audra or Damien finally calls. She goes on about Dumas and there being no cell service where they are in France. They must have so much to tell them. She tells Nate that hopefully he'll be able to take some time off when Lily and Devin get back. She knows her way around an office as well. Nate just wants her to focus on her health. Amy warns when Damien gets back, she'll be at Winters all the time. They might as well make her useful. Nate turns to her and warns he has something to tell her. It's not easy to say. Amy reminds him they've had hard conversations before. She never thought she would get better, but now, with Damien back and him and Audra on her side, she feels stronger than ever. He should just say what he has to say. He assures her it's not about her cancer. Nate tells her things overseas got messy. He spoke to Audra and then to Lily. Amy asks, "What about Damien?" She pleads, "Tell me about Damien." Nate says, "Damien died, Amy. Your son won't be coming home." Amy goes into denial and declares someone is lying. Nate tells her Lily called. Amy argues that no one called her. She's Damien's next of kin. Nate says he and Lily wanted her to hear it from someone in person. Amy wants to hear it from Audra. Nate says he talked to Audra too. Damien died. "I'm so sorry." Amy asks if Damien was sick. Why didn't someone do something? She demands to know what happened to her son. Nate explains that someone on staff decided Damien was a threat and killed him. Amy rants, "My baby was murdered? Who was that man to take her son's life?" Nate continues on to say the culprit took his own life. Lily and Damien got closer, and this man, Carter, thought he was in the way. Dumas is Cain, Lily's ex. Amy rants that her son died because he cared about Lily. He gets a death sentence for that. At Crimson Lights, Adam, Chelsea, Victoria, and Claire are together. Victoria appreciates them, understanding them postponing the funeral. They go over what happened in France. Victoria was grateful they both planned on being at the service, knowing at least one brother would be there helped. Adam cracks. "The lesser brother is better than no brother." He apologizes, and they go back to discussing France and Cain, never revealing his motivations for the trip. Victoria marvels at Ashby being the mind behind the mask. She can't decide if that makes Dumas less predictable or more. Adam says Cain must have a plan. Victoria asks him to go on. Adam thinks there's a message in the real estate purchases. Maybe he's dropping hints, given he likes to play games. Chelsea asks if Claire would like to take a walk with her. Claire thinks that sounds nice. They exit, and Adam tells Victoria that Claire is a lot like her. Victoria thinks she's more like her father, her kindness and empathy. Adam's sorry they didn't have more time with him. "If there's ever a way that I can help," Victoria thanks him. Adam and Victoria go over Cain's purchases, including the athletic club. He's asked someone to look for patterns. He worries he's adding to Victoria's stress. She admits she's used to the two of them working together. Adam guesses being with him puts her on edge. She says that's not fair. He went all the way to Nice for the family. Adam assures her he won't let anyone take anything from them ever again. "Together or apart, we have to fight like hell to protect what is ours." Adam asks if she wants to join him in stopping Cain in his tracks. "You call the shots." Victoria realizes he's become more empathetic when he mentions the difficult time she's going through. He credits Chelsea and Connor. Victoria admits it's nice to talk about something other than Cole. She's not avoiding grief, but they do have to be ready for Cain. They agree he has stones, taking on Victor, or he's insane. They have to figure out how to give him a homecoming he won't soon forget. At the Overlook, Claire thanks Chelsea for suggesting this. Chelsea wishes she could make things easier for her. Claire says it helps seeing her mom and Adam working together. He's been a great support for them with the others away. Chelsea knows it's hard for him to connect. Claire says he's trying. Talk turns to Cole's death. Claire doesn't know what else to say and suggests they just sit. Claire and Chelsea talk about the feelings involved with losing someone. They go over Claire's past and how her parents' love fixed her. Half of that love is gone, and she's really angry over being robbed. It's unfair for all of them. Chelsea reminds her she was also given a gift. Maybe try to focus on that. Chelsea launches into a talk about Connor and his condition, and the feelings and guilt she had surrounding it. It's different than what she's going through, but the beauty and tragedy of life is that they don't get to choose what happens to them. Claire's just scared that she might forget her dad's face or voice. Chelsea tells him she might forget details, but never how he made her feel. Claire cries that she was really lucky. Getting him for a dad was so much better than she ever expected. It's hard to let go. Chelsea assures her that her dad will be with her forever. Still at Crimson Lights, Victoria and Adam agree to fight Kane. Cole would want her to be ready and not let her guard down. His eulogy is running through her head. Adam's sure it's beautiful and urges her to share it with him. Adam's sure they can talk about things other than business and asks how Katie and Johnny are doing with the loss. Victoria says, "It hasn't been easy." Chelsea and Claire rejoin Victoria and Adam in the coffee shop. Victoria tells Chelsea that Adam gives her credit for his evolution and empathy. She thanks them both. They'll let them know when they reschedule Cole's service. Adam will let Victoria know when he hears back from the real estate people. Kane is not going to win. On the train car in France, Victor's come back to have a chat with Kane, who asks about Nick. Victor says he's a fighter. All the Newmans are. They don't go down easily, and when they do, they don't stay down for long. Kane's always admired his family's strength. He worked with Victoria for a while and admires all of them. Victor crabs about the mistakes he's made on this trip. Kane can only learn from it. Victor's learned that he's a sleazeball. He'll always be 10 moves ahead of him, or whatever identity he assumes. Using an alias is weak. Meanwhile, Chance is dead, Damian Kane is dead, and that freaky friend of his is dead. That's who you are, Kane Ashby. That's your legacy. Kane wants to move forward. Whether Victor wants to accept that or not is a different story. Victor sits forward and intones, "Do you know who you're dealing with, young punk? You watch your ass." He tells Kane no one wants him in Genoa City. No one is waiting for him there. He has nothing to gain. Kane plays dumb. Victor knows he's bought up all kinds of real estate in Genoa City. Kane can't figure out how he knew about the real estate purchases, but he can't block them or stop anything. Victor knows this isn't his endgame. He'll figure it out. Just know it's my town. His big attitude will get him into trouble. It already has. Kane was hoping for peace, but if it's a fight Victor wants, Kane warns he'll get it. Victor loves it when people challenge him, so you watch out for what you wish. Victor intones that he locked up his son and then asked his creepy robotic friend to kill for him. His son ended up in the hospital. He's not his friend. I'm your worst enemy, Victor warns. Kane says it doesn't have to be this way. Victor tells him if he can't resist the temptation to come to Genoa City, don't come near my family. Still in the park, Amy works to get her mind around the details of Damian's murder. Nate says it wasn't the work of a rational mind. Amy cries that she doesn't get it. The last time he held her, he meant it. It was everything she wanted. She fears if she'd let him be, he wouldn't have met Lily. Nate says the only one to blame is the man who took a life. Amy cries that Damian was supposed to have more time. I wasn't! Nate says Damian was grateful to be reconnected with her. She sobs that it wasn't enough time. Nate tells her they'll mourn him together and share memories. Amy sobs, I don't want memories. I want my son. Amy stands and shouts that her son was a part of her. She'd know if he wasn't in the world anymore. Nate says, it's going to take some time. Amy insists Damian is not gone. My son is not dead because I'm still here. I'm still here. Nate holds her as she protests and sobs. She sags in his arms. At Newman Media, Chelsea tells Adam they should have Victoria and Claire to the house. She asks how it felt with Victoria. He admits it was awkward, but they go along. He changes the subject to Claire. Chelsea says she's in pain and feels cheated. She's strong, and that will carry her through. Adam hopes Victor won't grind her down in the process. Chelsea's sure once Kyle's back, she'll have all the support in the world. Adam tells her there's no future for them. Victor will never let that romance survive. Back at the tack house, Victoria and Claire discuss Chelsea, who hasn't had it easy. Claire says talking to her today was helpful. Victoria's glad. The conversation turns to Kane Ashby. Victoria says they have to prepare as though he's a threat to the family. It won't end well for him. Adam's riled up, not to mention Victor. Claire liked seeing her and Adam with their heads together today. Victoria could tell he really cares about the family. If that's all they ever have in common, that's enough. At Newman Media, Adam takes a call from Victor, who says he's not on his way back yet. Once Nick's released, they'll board the jet. They want to be at Cole's memorial. Victor warns his son that Kane's not backing down, and he's working with Billy Boy. Adam says, "Of course he is. Victor says they're going to crush them. He hopes that won't be a problem with Chelsea. This man has declared war, and he shall have it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Young and Restless dropped the ball on several fronts during the Kane murder mystery, and noticeably with Chance's untimely demise. So, what needs to happen to right the ship now that he's gone? Keep reading and we'll tell you. The utter lack of terror amongst Kane's guests as a murderer roamed the leafy hedges of the maze was an oof moment for many fans, but as it turns out, that the curious lack of emotion wouldn't stop there. While Lily gasped over Chance dying in front of her, and Kane shed a few tears as he held him in his arms, Billy, Chance's uncle, was surprisingly stoic over the whole thing. Worse still, before Chance's body was even removed from the scene, Billy was already pulling Phyllis aside to start plotting his next business scheme. It seemed disrespectful, and for some it was not unexpected. Chance's death lacked impact, and one of the big reasons was that the people who deeply care about him were not in attendance. Abby was told of his death off-screen. Summer will clearly learn of it off-screen as well, and Jill wasn't even part of this storyline that has as much, or more, to do with her than Victor or anyone else. So, what needs to happen now? One way to help course correct would be for Young and Restless to give Chance a send-off worthy of a core character. That means bringing back not only his grandmother Jill, who should have been part of the Chancellor conversation from the start, particularly given Dumas was Kane, but also Nina, so we can mourn Chance's loss along with her. Should Nina and Jill return? Vote! The Young and the Restless fans are sickened by CBS writers' disrespect, and they are not afraid to share their feelings. So what has them so upset, and can the hit soap opera come back from this? Keep reading for more details. The Young and the Restless has a very loyal fan base, which has been with them for 52 years on the air. They know that the show delivers impeccable storylines, and that has been a staple of the hit soap opera. Unfortunately, the storylines do not always work for everyone, and that becomes a problem. When Kelly Monaco was killed off of General Hospital, fans were livid. They then learned that Chad Duell was exiting and hoped he would not suffer the same fate. Of course, certain stories and turns are inevitable, and that may have been what happened with Y&R. A recent storyline has viewers up in arms as two core cast members have been killed off. Carter and Chance both died on the show as the latter moved over to Days of Our Lives. Despite the exits, fans are not happy with how Chance was killed. They did not anticipate that being his fate, and are upset that the writers did not choose another out. It seemed that he could have moved or gone elsewhere, given his limited screen time. Furthermore, he was the last remaining member of the Chancellor family in Genoa City. It was the end of a Young and the Restless era that no one wanted to happen at all. More so, they feel that it was a tasteless ending. Fans immediately headed to social media to express their disdain for the show and the writers who allowed this to happen. They added that it showed a complete lack of respect to those who have been with the show for years. Young and the Restless fans are in shock over Chance being killed, and in many ways, they want justice for him. Moreover, they want justice for the die-hard fans who have watched and supported the series. Viewers lashed out on the show's social media page, demanding answers for this death. They also took to X to share their thoughts. It is unclear how the writers can come back from this, if that is even possible. As of now, fans are not happy and will continue to share this until they get what they want. When it comes to the Young and the Restless, Few couples have the kind of enduring, fiery chemistry that Sharon and Nick share. The love, the heartbreak, the chaos. It's all part of the chic package. And just when fans thought these two were finally settling into a platonic groove, bam! One kiss changed everything. Let's talk about that kiss. Sweet, nostalgic, and full of history, it felt less like a moment of desperation and more like a hello again. Was it a slip of passion? A moment of weakness? Or the first spark of a full-blown reunion? Chic fans are buzzing, and they have every right to be. Nick and Sharon are the definition of a soap super couple. They share a decades-long love story marked by unforgettable highs and devastating lows. They've weathered affairs, breakups, weddings, deaths, and even other marriages. But no matter what comes between them, they always seem to orbit back into each other's lives. That magnetic pull? It's not going anywhere. So, what now? Was this kiss just a momentary lapse in judgment before Sharon returns to the quiet life and Nick moves on again? Or is this the beginning of a real, lasting reunion, one that might finally stick? Fans have been toyed with before, but this time feels different. This time feels hopeful. Of course, in true Genoa City fashion, nothing is ever simple. What happens if they dive back into this relationship only to crash and burn again? Would they be risking the solid friendship they've worked so hard to build? Or is love worth the risk? Especially when it's this kind of love. Messy, complicated, but deeply real? The truth is, Sharon and Nick are each other's safe place. No one knows them better. No one gets them like the other. And while they've both grown and changed, maybe, just maybe, they've finally grown in the same direction. Whether this kiss is a fleeting spark or the start of a full-blown love inferno, one thing's for sure. The young and the restless just gave chic fans a reason to believe again. And if this is the beginning of something new, bring on the fireworks. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, July 31st reveal that Sharon Newman and Nick Newman will face a romantic setback, while some Kyle Abbott red flags leave Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott concerned. Let's start with Nick and Sharon, since they'll have a lot to unpack after the passionate kiss they shared. Nick pushed Sharon to come closer and locked lips with her while he was injured. But how will he feel once he's released from the hospital? With the danger gone and the strong emotions weakened, reality may hit for Nick and leave him wishing he hadn't crossed that line. Stepping out of the friend zone means risking the bond Nick's spent years building with Sharon, and that may not be something he's willing to do. Y&R spoilers say Sharon and Nick will have a complicated discussion about where things stand between them. Even if Sharon agrees with Nick about pumping the brakes, she may be disappointed deep down since she's been pining for so long. Over with Victor Newman, he'll strategize against Kane Ashby and take some steps to unify the Newman clan ahead of the fight that's brewing. As for Jack and Diane, they'll have good reasons to fret over Kyle in Thursday's episode. Kyle will still be an emotional wreck since he was stuck in Nice with no cell service, while Claire Newman was mourning Cole Howard without him. Since Kyle has been blaming Audra Charles, his rage toward her could grow stronger and leave his parents fearful about his revenge. Diane and Jack know Kyle can get into trouble when a vengeful obsession takes over. Of course, Kyle will have to decide how much he wants to spill to Claire about Victor hiring Audra to seduce him and break up their relationship. The timing may not be right for that, considering Claire is still grieving for Cole. There's also the matter of how Kyle proved his theory, since he had his lips all over Audra and was half naked with her. This is a more complex situation than Kyle thinks it is, so we'll see if he realizes that and chooses not to give Claire updates just yet. At this point, Claire might be better off not knowing about Victor's seduction orders for Audra and Kyle's drastic action to trap her. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the week of August 4 to 8, reveal that Kane Ashby's Genoa City return will get messy, while Lily Winters has a meltdown and Phyllis Summers makes an alarming power play. Despite all the warnings Kane's received about avoiding GC, he'll move forward with his comeback anyway. However, Kane will be walking into the danger zone thanks to the Newmans and their efforts to defend their territory. Adam Newman has pledged family loyalty and will certainly be willing to play dirty against Kane. Although Chelsea Lawson has tried to protect Billy Abbott in the past, she may not be willing to do that now that he's gearing up for a Kane partnership. Of course, Billy has also been trying to tempt Phyllis with an alliance that ties in with their Kane goals. Despite her initial fears, Phyllis seems poised to go all in and set off some alarm bells for her loved ones in the process. Both Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Nick Newman may voice some objections, but Phyllis always does what she wants anyway. Y&R fans can expect Phyllis to make a bold power play as concerns grow. As for Sharon Newman, she'll have some disturbing info for Mariah Copeland after all the murder mayhem. Sharon may also give Mariah updates on the kiss she shared with Nick and how complicated things have gotten. Plus, Mariah may give Sharon the news about her deteriorating relationship with Tessa Porter. Tessa and Mariah's separation could become a divorce if Mariah can't get her act together fast enough. Will Mariah also develop some worries about Tessa's bond with Daniel and just how close these two are getting? Regardless, Mariah feels haunted after strangling that stranger on her business trip, so it'll be interesting to see what it's going to take for her to move on. Back with the Newmans, they'll finally say an official goodbye to Cole Howard. It looks like Victoria Newman and Claire Newman will finally move ahead with the memorial service once Nick, Victor Newman, and Nikki Newman are back in town. Kyle Abbott will support Claire as best as he can, but there's bound to be more drama related to Audra Charles brewing. Nate Hastings will continue to grieve for Damian Kane, along with Amy Lewis, who may grill Audra as she seeks more answers about the trip. Chance Chancellor will definitely be mourned as well, so memorial arrangements should be made for him soon. Finally, Lily will likely have another Kane-fueled outburst. Once Lily crosses paths with Kane back in Genoa City, she may rip into him for coming back there against everyone's wishes, including her own. The Young and the Restless, Y&R spoilers, tease that Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will soon soften her stance against Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. It could lead to their highly anticipated reunion. Up until now, Lily has refused to consider reuniting with Kane. She cannot get past all the heartbreak he has caused. She gave Kane more chances than he deserved, and every time, he hurt her. The last straw for Lily was his affair that resulted in a child. In recent events, Kane was the catalyst in the deaths of Damian Kane and Chance Chancellor. It's clear that Lily isn't ready to forgive and forget just yet, but soap spoilers suggest that she will shortly. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kane's determined to convince Lily to give him another chance. That was what led to Damian Kane's, Jermaine Rivers, murder. While Kane maintains that he didn't order Carter, Vincent Stalba, to kill Damian, Lily still blames him for her new lover's untimely death. Lily repeatedly informs Kane that the couple will never be together again. He drills that notion over and over. Kane refuses to accept that. He believes they will be together again, even if she refuses now. The Young and the Restless viewers want to see Kane and Lily reunite. They believe Lily will forgive Kane for the France mess and might remember how good they were together in time. It might take a few months for her to process her anger and grief over everything. Most fans believe the couple dubbed Lane will be together again. Lily and Kane might be at odds with each other right now, but it won't take long for that fighting to turn to passion. Y&R spoilers state that Lily hasn't refused to talk to Kane, even if those conversations often lead to a gigantic argument. Kane told Lily on Tuesday's show that he planned to return with everyone to Genoa City. Lily warned her ex-husband against it. She doesn't think anyone will forgive him for Damian and Chance's murder. She suggested that Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, will never forgive him for Chance's murder. Even so, Kane remains determined to return to Genoa City to achieve his business plans and win Lily back. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that by November sweeps, Kane and Lily will be a couple again. Keep watching the CBS soap to find out how it all pans out. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Holden Novak's sinister trap may be brewing. Could Holden turn into the threat that Kane Ashby won't see coming? Although Holden and Damian Kane faced some tension ahead of the latter's nice trip, it seems like a lot of that was for show on Holden's end. Holden had to make it seem like he was fed up over getting fired to cover up the fact that he was still employed by Aristotle Dumas, aka Kane. Of course, Y&R fans know things weren't perfect in Holden and Damien's friendship. Damien had anger issues and sometimes became a different person when he was bossing Holden around. But they still cared about each other. Holden and Damien were as close as brothers once upon a time, so you can bet Holden's going to be crushed over the fatal news. The fact that Damien got stabbed on Kane's property at his unhinged employee's hands should rile Holden up. In fact, it could leave Holden craving revenge, especially since he'll never have a chance to make amends with Damien now that he's gone. Holden will be looking for someone to blame, and since Carter is deceased, Kane may be the next best thing. Will Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson take advantage of Holden's vengeful desires? It's easy to imagine Chelsea and Adam recruiting Holden to be part of the Newmans' plot against Kane. Victor Newman might give the idea his full approval, at least if he decides Holden can be trusted. Holden could be in the prime position to help with Kane's takedown since he's still employed by him and has been helping with all his real estate grabs. As long as Holden can keep Kane thinking he's loyal, he could secretly set up his boss's downfall. Do you think Holden will set a trap for Kane at some point? Will Holden turn against Kane over Damien's grisly outcome and join Team Newman instead? The Young and the Restless fans knew that the soap was setting up a murder mystery when folks from Genoa City went to Paris to finally meet Aristotle Dumas, aka Kane Ashby. However, viewers weren't expecting the daytime drama to kill off a popular legacy character. Is Chance Chancellor really dead? The storyline at Aristotle's estate has dragged on for what seems like months. Fans are tired of it, but didn't want it to end the way it did. Aristotle Dumas, Kane Ashby, was convinced that someone was trying to kill him, so he invited Chance to the estate as protection. Things escalated when Damien was shockingly murdered. The murderer was revealed as Carter, and he took Lily hostage. Ken was able to talk Carter down enough to release Lily. The cop in Chase kicked in, and he tried to disarm Carter. Chase was shot in the scuffle and died on the Monday, July 28th episode. Fans took to social media to vent about the shocking decision to kill off Chance, a legacy character. A battle for custody over Chance dominated the storyline in the 1990s. He's the son of Nina Webster and Philip Chancellor III. Check out some of the comments on social media about the shocking twist. One fan wrote that maybe Chance isn't really dead. They speculated, "It's all been a dream." Sharon wakes up in Daniel's apartment with Heather standing over her, asking if she's okay. Connor Floyd has been playing Chance Chancellor since 2021. He was recently cast on the Peacock soap opera Days of Our Lives as the new Chad DiMera. The role was previously played by Billy Flynn. Billy Flynn recently joined The Young and the Restless as a recast Kane Ashby. Fans don't love the shocking change, especially the loss of a distinct Australian accent. Connor Floyd won't air on Days of Our Lives until next year because of the soap's filming schedule. He spoke to Soap Opera Digest about Chance's death. And unfortunately, it seems Chance really is dead. As sad as it is, I think that's how Chance would want to go out. That's his story that he's always been telling, that he's a hero and the ultimate person to put everybody else above himself, so I think it's a little poetic in a way, the actor said about Chance's death. Connor Floyd shared intimate details about his final scenes on the CBS soap. He said, "We had this last scene, and everyone was clapping, and I was saying goodbye to everyone and walking out, and I cried like a baby, I'm not going to lie." After weeks of laying the groundwork for unexpected twists, The Young and the Restless has shaken things up on the soap's storyline. Moreover, Kane's return to the show and Genoa City promises to bring forth more drama. Meanwhile, grisly actions and unfortunate deaths marked the July 2025 run of the long-running CBS soap. A quick recap of the month shows intense drama on the French estate, where prominent Genoa City residents were invited. As the psychological situation took a turn towards crime, the show lost 3 lives. Meanwhile, Lily enjoyed romantic attention from 2 men before losing one to death. Also, Audra failed in her mission as Kyle called out her intention to ensnare him. Elsewhere, Mariah and Tessa faced a bitter separation as The Young and the Restless fans learnt about Mariah's recent crime. On the other hand, Daniel was seen moving on to some happiness in his life, thanks to Tessa's support. Meanwhile, Danny proposed to Christine, and the two are slated to wed soon. After the drama scenario set by Kane Ashby on the French estate ended in multiple tragedies, his guests are on their way to their hometown. Actor-singer Damien returned to The Young and the Restless with some poignant scenes with his fiancée and his son, while his character, Danny, proposed marriage to his longtime lover. He was also seen enjoying a meal with his son. He informed his son about his intention to settle down with Christine. Daniel encouraged his father to go ahead with the same. The two were also shown joking about Phyllis's reaction to his wedding. In return, Danny asked Daniel about his life. The latter gave a somber reply on how he was coping with his still raw emotions. The second week of July also saw Laura Lee Bell return to The Young and the Restless after a long time. Although she last appeared during the Heather murder arc, she was missing from the scenario since the case was solved. As her story arc gears up for the long-awaited wedding with Danny, the soap saw her accept his proposal. She also interacted with Daniel as the latter updated them about his and his mother's lives. They were seen concerned about Phyllis's enthusiasm to join the mysterious Dumas and get a job on the billionaire's payroll. While Melissa returned to The Young and the Restless's plot on June 30th, 25, most of her appearances were in July. Missing from the limelight since her wedding to Devon, Melissa's Abby returned to the storyline after landing at the Dumas estate as a guest. Both she and her on-screen husband, Devon Winters, were seen involved with Lily's arc after learning that their host, Dumas, was Lily's former husband, Kane Ashby. Moreover, Damien's death shook them. Victoria's former husband, Cole, returned to town and her life in 23, thanks to his aunt's sinister plan. However, early in 2025, Pex Cole started suffering from health issues that he ignored for a long time. After he suffered complications during Nikki's birthday celebration, Victoria and Claire had him admitted to a hospital. When his Legionnaire's disease could not be cured at the Chicago hospital, he was transferred back to Genoa City. July 3, 2025, saw Cole saying his final farewell to his daughter and wife. Cole passed away unexpectedly, leaving his bereaved family shocked. Jermaine was a relatively new actor on The Young and the Restless, while his character, Damien, highlighted Amy Lewis's arc. It was also romantically connected to Lily Winters. Moreover, Dumas was his former employer. As such, Damien was seen accompanying Lily to Dumas's estate, where they learnt about Dumas being Kane. While Lily rejected Kane, she reached out to Damien. She declared her love before they spent some intimate moments. However, his interaction with Kane alone led to Damien being stabbed by a knife. Although Lily accused Kane of murdering Damien, Carter was later revealed to be the real murderer. After the unusual situation of Damien's murder left Kane paranoid about his own well-being, the latter invited policeman Chance Chancellor to his estate. Once within the estate, Chance's investigation found discrepancies in the statements of Carter and the gatekeeper. After he shared his opinion with the Newman patriarch, the two interrogated Carter. He followed Kane and Carter as the latter confessed to killing Damien. Chance arrived in the open just as Carter waved a gun. Chance lunged at the murderer to get his gun away. The struggle over the gun caused it to go off, leaving Chance with a fatal injury. Chance died at the spot due to his gunshot wound. With this, Chance actor Connor Floyd bid farewell to The Young and the Restless. Carter was introduced on The Young and the Restless as the loyal butler of Aristotle Dumas. However, he did not know the true identity of his employer. His mistake of giving away the location of the weapon made him a suspect in Damien's death. On Kane's insistence, Carter admitted to having killed Damien to pave the way for Kane's romance. However, when Chance and Lily arrived, an angry Carter captured Lily at gunpoint to negotiate his departure. The drama involved letting Lily go, but a scuffle with Chance. After his gunshot killed Chance, Carter fled the spot, but later killed himself in desperation. The Young and the Restless, recap for Wednesday, July 30th, reveals that Amy Lewis will scream that Damien Kane isn't dead, so fans will see this devastated mom go into denial. Victor Newman will also threaten Kane Ashby. So let's talk about what's ahead on the CBS soap. At Crimson Lights, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will understand as Victoria Newman and Claire Newman talk about rescheduling Cole Howard's memorial service. Chelsea will sense that Claire's got a lot on her mind, so she'll take her to the park and sit with her. That'll give Claire to open up about her loss and get some words of wisdom from Chelsea as they bond. Meanwhile, Victoria will connect with Adam too and wonder where he learned to be so empathetic. Adam will credit Chelsea and Connor Newman with teaching him that. Adam will also assure Victoria of his family loyalty and suggest that whether they work together or apart, they can figure out Kane's true agenda and tackle the threat. On the train in Nice, Victor will push Kane's buttons over all the death and destruction that happened on his property. Kane will act like all he can do is move forward now, but Victor will call him a sleazeball and a young punk as he delivers some warnings. Victor will think Kane's attitude is going to get him in trouble before acknowledging that it already has. After some talk about Kane's real estate grabs in Genoa City, Victor will contend that no one wants him there. Kane will suggest it doesn't have to be this way, but he'll make it clear that if it's a fight Victor wants, then it's a fight he'll get. Victor will argue that he's Kane's worst nightmare and push him to stay away from Genoa City as well as his family. Back in GC, Adam will talk to Chelsea about Victoria responding to his emotional evolution and about Claire's struggles. Chelsea will point out that Kyle Abbott will be back to support Claire soon, but Adam will predict they don't have a future since Victor will never let their relationship last. Next on Wednesday's Y&R episode, Victor will call Adam and let him know that they'll be flying back from Nice once Nick Newman's released from the hospital. Now that Kane's declared war, Victor will insist he shall have one. Once Victoria and Claire make it home, they'll discuss Chelsea's support along with Adam's attempt to reach out. Although Adam was clearly out of his comfort zone, Claire will get Victoria to agree it was sweet. In the park, Amy will be in good spirits thanks to the beautiful day and her treatment paying off. However, Amy will sense that something's bothering Nate, who'll eventually admit that Damien died and won't be coming home from Nice. Amy will argue that's not true and will think she would have been notified first as the next of kin. Nate will explain that Lily Winters thought Amy should hear it from someone in person who could make sure she was okay. Amy will act like Lily's phone call must have been some sort of trick, but Nate will stand his ground and reiterate that Damien died. After Nate explains the details as best as he can, Amy will be horrified over Damien getting murdered because of his new connection to Lily. It'll leave Amy blaming herself since Damien never would have met Lily if she'd just left him alone. Nate won't think Damien would want Amy to hold herself responsible and will feel confident that Damien enjoyed their time reconnecting. Amy will cry about it not being enough, but Nate will insist they can grieve together and cling to her memories. After Amy shouts that she doesn't want memories, she'll add that she wants her son instead. Amy will go back into denial and act like she'd be able to feel it if Damien was really dead. Nate will look distraught as he ultimately pulls a sobbing Amy into a comforting embrace. The young and the restless spoilers say Amy will have a hard time wrapping her head around Nate's devastating news, so stay tuned for updates on how she'll cope. With summertime comes vacation photos, and we've seen quite a few of them as of late from various soap stars. From an escape to Switzerland to beachy getaways, the time away is just what the actors and actresses need to hit reset before heading back into the studios. The young and the restless. Mark Grossman is no stranger to travels and has been on many of them, so when he posted his latest, we just had to share Zion to Horseshoe Bend, with a few stops along the way, the CBS soap fave stated while posting a ton of pics to his official Instagram. For those unfamiliar, Utah's first national park is the home of Zion Canyon's steep red cliffs, as well as trails along the Virgin River, waterfalls, and more. Grossman gave followers a glimpse of his travel companion too, new girlfriend, realtor/model Katie Johnson. The pics showcased the beautiful scenery, which included mountains, a shot of Inspiration Point, a storm rolling in, caves, the best friend's animal sanctuary, and a few sweet snaps of the couple. Of their trip, Johnson shared her own set of photos of one of the most beautiful places she's visited in the United States, which featured a few more shots of Grossman. And prior to that, she posted a video of one of the neatest places we've ever seen. It's like something from under the dome, literally. Could this be the reason why Carter is loyal to Kane? Carter will do anything for his boss, Kane, On The Young and the Restless, the assistant has been loyal to Kane in the short time he's been on the show. But could this be the reason for Carter's loyalty? Carter has been a top-notch assistant for Kane. Aside from taking care of business matters, Carter's devotion to his job goes much deeper. As seen on the latest episodes, Carter is willing to commit murder to make Kane happy. Viewers assumed Carter was responsible for the murders, but his reason left many confused. His commitment to Kane goes above and beyond, so could it be because they have a special connection? On Reddit, a Y&R fan theory suggests that Carter could be Kane's son, Sam. He's Sam all sorest up. That's why he would do anything for Mr. Dumas, one user wrote. While it's an intriguing theory, most fans don't believe it. Carter looks too old to be Kane's son. Kane looks too young to be Carter's father. I had forgotten about Sam, one fan wrote. That would be the sourcing to end all sourcing. It would mean that Sam is older than the twins, somehow disappeared, and fell into poverty a few years ago. Kane found him, but is hiding his identity, one viewer replied. Carter being Sam seems far-fetched, but on Y&R, anything is possible. There's been lots of questions about Sam since Kane's return. Many fans have been wondering if Sam will return, or will the writers pretend he doesn't exist? If Sam is still out there, maybe he'll pop up again one day. Or has he already returned and nobody knows it?